and Mohammed Abedini have been charged in a 36-page criminal complaint. The complaint charges both men with conspiring to violate United States export laws designed to protect sensitive technologies. Importantly, there are two other very serious charges in this criminal complaint against Mr. Abedini. One is conspiracy to provide material support to a foreign terrorist organization resulting in death. The second charge is the substantive charge of providing material support to a foreign terrorist organization resulting in death. We often cite hypothetical risk when we talk about the dangers of American technologies getting into dangerous hands. Unfortunately, in this situation, we are not speculating. As alleged in this criminal complaint, the grave potential damage from the leak of American technology overseas came to fruition. Approximately 11 months ago, on January 28, 2024, in the northeast corner of Jordan on the Syrian border, a United States military base known as Tower 22 was subject to a deadly drone attack. The results were devastating. 3 American soldiers lost their lives. 47 American soldiers were injured, some of them quite seriously. As alleged in this criminal complaint, the FBI's Terrorist Explosive Device Analytical Center was able to recover the drone that was used in that attack, and through their forensic work, they were able to trace the sophisticated navigation equipment in that drone used in the attack to Mr. Abedini's company located in Iran. As a result, material support of a foreign terrorist organization resulting in death charges have been filed against Mr. Abedini right here in Massachusetts. And the United States government is seeking the extradition of Mr. Abedini from Italy to face these charges. Now, on the export charges against both men, Mr. Abedini and Mr. Sadeghi have been charged with conspiring to violate and evade United States export laws, known as the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, also referred to as IEEPA. IEEPA and other United States laws are designed to keep sensitive American technologies that have military applications out of the hands of foreign powers that may cause harm to the United States. And it's alleged that from January 2016 until December 2024, Mr. Sadeghi and Mr. Abedini conspired to violate IEEPA and other American export laws by unlawfully exporting to Iran sensitive American technologies. Mr. Sadeghi, who lives in Natick, Massachusetts, works for a United States semiconductor company that's based here in the District of Massachusetts. Mr. Abedini, it is alleged, lives in Iran, and he's the CEO and co-founder of a company known as Sidra, SDRA, that's located in Tehran and has deep connections to the Iranian government, the Iranian military, and to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, also known as the IRGC. The IRGC has been designated by the American government as a foreign terrorist organization for their role in terrorist attacks and their support of organizations like Hamas and Hezbollah that engage in terrorist attacks. Mr. Sadeghi introduced Mr. Abedini to his employer based here in Massachusetts, and it is alleged they embarked on a scheme to circumvent export laws, and Mr. Abedini established a front company in Switzerland known as Illamove, as alleged in the complaint. And that was a cover to procure American technologies from Mr. Sadeghi's employer to Mr. Abedini, transmitted on to his company in Iran. Among the items funneled to Sidra, the Iranian company controlled by Mr. Abedini, were items used in unmanned aerial systems, also which includes drones. These items include accelerometers, gyroscopes, and other microelectronic components. Sidra is directly linked to the deadly attack on Tower 22, we have alleged. According to court documents, the drone used in that attack contained a Zephyr navigation system that was manufactured by Sidra, Mr. Abedini's company. This evidence, it is alleged, ties the death of U.S. servicemen serving us abroad back to Mr. Abedini, because he's the founder and CEO of Sidra, and he was intimately involved in the scheme to export sensitive American technologies in violation of U.S. law to his company, Sidra. These charges today underscore that the Department of Justice will not cease in its effort to seek justice for service members who are killed and harmed overseas. I commend the skilled investigators at the FBI and the Department of Commerce for their dogged work on this case. I especially want to thank the two prosecutors from my office and the prosecutor from the National Security Division at the Department of Justice, without whom this case never would have come together. And lastly, I want to say one word to the victims, to the people who were injured by this attack, to the loved ones of the family members and the family members of the people who lost their lives. As the son of a combat veteran, I humbly hope that today's charges bring some measure of justice and accountability to those families. Turn it over to Jody Cohen at the FBI.
Good evening. I'm Jody Cohen, the Special Agent in Charge of FBI Boston. On January 28th, 3 U.S. soldiers were murdered, and more than 40 others were injured when an Iranian-built drone struck Tower 22, a U.S. military base in Jordan. Today, the FBI arrested 2 Iranian nationals and disrupted an Iranian procurement network that we believe was directly involved in that horrific attack. Mohammed Abedini was taken into custody by Italian authorities earlier today on charges that he provided material support to a foreign terrorist organization, resulting in death. He's also been charged by the FBI for allegedly conspiring with a Massachusetts man to illegally procure sophisticated U.S. technology made right here in Massachusetts for the government of Iran. That Massachusetts man is Mahdi Sadeghi, a naturalized U.S. citizen living in Natick, who we believe abandoned this country that took him in to help strengthen the arsenal of weapons for one of the world's most infamous state sponsors of terrorism. The FBI arrested Mr. Sadeghi this afternoon without incident. Immediately following the arrest, the FBI's evidence response team executed a search warrant at his home in Natick. We believe both men conspired illegally to export sensitive technology from a semiconductor manufacturer headquartered in Massachusetts to Iran, using a front company in Switzerland owned by Abedini. Abedini is also the owner of an Iranian-based company that makes navigation systems for the IRGC, a designated foreign terrorist organization. Those systems were using drones to commit terrorist attacks throughout the world, including Russia's war against Ukraine. The FBI analyzed the drone that struck Tower 22, killing 3 American soldiers, and found the navigation system used in this deadly attack was allegedly manufactured by Abedini's company. We know the lasting impact of this trauma that has been inflicted upon the family and those killed and injured in Tower 22 attack can never be erased, and our hearts are with them today. Today's arrest highlights the FBI's ongoing commitment to bring justice to anyone who assists the governments of Iran in obtaining technology that can be used for deadly purposes. The security of our country depends on protecting it from threats, whether it's originate from foreign nationals or with American citizens who put their personal interests ahead of our country's best interests. Complex investigations like this one and the mitigation of such a significant threat are exactly why we do what we do. It is a privilege to serve with such dedicated colleagues, and I'm very proud of the team of the FBI of Boston for their incredible work on this case. I'm also thankful for our strong collaborative partnerships with the Department of Commerce and the U.S. Attorney's Office, and our colleagues across the globe who will never stop working to identify those who consider our country their sworn enemy. Thank you. I'm going to hand it over to the Department of Commerce.
Good afternoon. I'm Christine Chambers. I'm the Assistant Special Agent in Charge of the Office of Export Enforcement, Boston Field Office. Today's action demonstrates how the Bureau of Industry and Security, working with our law enforcement partners, prioritizes enforcement action against nation-state actors like Iran that seek to misuse U.S. technology to support destabilizing military modernization programs and undermine regional stability. BIS and FBI agents were able to uncover a sophisticated scheme by which the defendants allegedly supplied sensitive technology in violation of U.S. export controls to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, a designated foreign terrorist organization that resulted in widespread death and devastation, including the deaths of 3 U.S. service members in Jordan. Today's arrest should send a signal to adversaries around the globe. BIS, working with our interagency partners, will hold violators of U.S. export controls accountable. Thank you.
As Special Agent in Charge Conan, did you say the address? What did you say?
It was Woodland Street.
Yep. That's confirmed. Yep. That's connected to this case. Nate? Not at this time. Nope.
Are there any other suspects that you may be looking into at this point, and any additional charges that either of these men have faced?
Yeah, I would say that this is an active investigation, as evidenced by the fact that we conducted searches today. We're still accumulating evidence, so I can't comment one way or the other, but I would just say it's an active investigation. Additional potential defendants, additional potential charges is in the mix.
All right, Mr. City, he's been a naturalized U.S. citizen. Do you know how long he's been in the U.S., and are there concerns dating back to when he arrived in the U.S.?
I don't know if the complaint, off the top of my head, specifies the year in which he was naturalized, and other than that, I'm not going to comment on that question. Nate? Well, is your question, was the employer aware of the export technology to Iran, or just export technology generally?
Exported to Iran.
Yeah, I can't comment on that. I can tell you that the company was notified by the FBI today of this investigation and has been cooperative from the moment they were notified.